Thank you for coming tonight to the Planning Commission, and we will get underway. We will begin with an invocation, so please bow your heads. Dear Lord, we come to you today asking for your guidance, wisdom, and support as we begin this meeting. Help us to engage in meaningful discussion. Allow us to grow closer as a group and nurture the bonds of community. Thank you. We have the approval of minutes from February 20th. Has everyone looked over the minutes? Does anyone see anything that needs to be changed or added to? Hearing none, does someone make a move? Was that you, Mr. Seegers?
Yes.
Have a motion. We need a second.
Second.
All right. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right. We will move on. Any addenda to the agenda tonight?
No, sir.
All right. We will move on to new business, starting with ANX 25-1.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The site is outlined in red here. You'll see Concord Road coming diagonally across your screen here, Reed Road, middle to bottom, and this is Concord Baptist Church. This is a parcel, and it's this parcel and this parcel that are currently outside the city limits, and we'll see the better illustration of that in a minute. But this is the parcel in question, so it's essentially right now just a parking lot. The applicant, Concord Baptist Church, proposes to annex the 0.57 acre property into the city. Most of the over 10 acre church campus is within the city limits. The church plans to construct a childhood education center on the campus, and a portion of the building and site alterations will encroach into this property. To facilitate review and permitting, it is best that the entire campus be inside the city. Staff is recommending approval. So you can see here that those two parcels in white are in the county, outside the city limits. Everything in yellow completely surrounding it, so it is a donut hole, is inside the city. So just to be clear, right now we're just talking about this acre, half an acre, a little over half an acre parcel to come into the city.
I see the requested zoning is R20. Does that match with the church and what their proposed use is?
Yes, sir. It matches the surrounding zones, and that R20 allows a church as long as there's a 2 acre minimum site. So with 10 acres, they will have plenty to meet that requirement, that conditional use.
All right. Any other questions for staff? Hearing none, someone want to make a motion on ANX 25-1?
Yeah, motion we approve.
Second.
Second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, that will go for City Council next week, right?
Yes, sir. It will go to the 28th.
All right. Moving on to ANX 25-2.
Thank you. So you can see the site here. I'm sorry. Excuse me. The site here, you can see the East-West Parkway running sort of diagonally across your screen, and the site outlined in red. The green line represents the city limits, and it's kind of tracing around here. Everybody understand that and know where we are?
Yes.
Great. The applicant proposes to annex the subject property consisting of approximately 22 acres on the northern side of the East-West Parkway, generally near the Beltline connector, into the city with a PDD zoning. Phase 1, approximately 8 acres, will consist of a multifamily affordable housing development under Compass Cove Phase 1. The remaining site, approximately 14 acres, will be residential developed under Compass Cove Phase 2 PDD. So there's 2 PDs that we're looking at tonight. Although there are no current development plans for that Phase 2. Okay? The application is consistent with the approved comprehensive plan. That plan was approved last night. And we'll look at that, that further. So this is the sub area that is part of the comprehensive plan, and it talking about land uses. The site is right here, this sort of triangular site, and it is a mixed residential. It's cited to be mixed residential conservation design. So the proposed multifamily housing fits into that, and any additional for that phase 2 would have to meet those requirements as well. So again, looking at this sub area, these are suggested improvements that might happen along this parkway, and I call your attention to the green setback right here as part of this property. And we'll talk about that in a minute when we look at the PDD document. But it's also important to note that this East-West Parkway, portion of East-West Parkway, has limited access. So there's no plans to increase access onto the highway. It will all come to that center access for this site, and we can look at that in a minute too. So again, this is phase 1. What you see in green is phase 1, right? And phase 2 would be what's in white. Again, there's just this central access to East-West Parkway, which has been planned years ago, and there is a setback or a buffer along here, and we'll look at the language in the PDD for that. So this is phase 1, sort of PDD, sort of an executive summary is the density would be limited to 80 multifamily units for a total of about plus or minus 10 units an acre. The open space would be 25% of the site, or is required to be 25% of the site. The setbacks from the property line are 25 foot with 50 foot from the East-West Parkway. That's not so important in phase 1 because all they do is have that access onto the parkway. And landscaping and tree preservation would have to comply with Article 13, which was approved about 2 years ago. And the East-West Parkway green setback of 100 foot with planting requirements, and the signage would have to comply with Article 12, which was recently approved about 2 years ago. So again, the language for that setback is right here. It's at 100 foot, and you can see the required canopy trees, understory tree requirements, and the limits of what can happen in that green setback. And that just rounds out the PDD document for phase 1. Now we're going to talk about the PDD document for phase 2.
Hang on one second.
Yes, sir.
So you said the setback was an extra 50 feet, so it's a total of 100 feet?
The setback is a total of 100 foot.
Okay.
That is a little bit different from your packet, admittedly, but it was increased to 100 foot.
Okay.
Okay? So phase 2 would be what's in white. And that PDD document is very similar. Again, it is meant to be open because exact plans for this part of the development, phase 2, are not known, but it requires those plans to come back to you all and to City Council to revise this PDD document once they do know exactly what's going to happen there. So again, an executive summary of Compass Cove Phase 2 PDD is, excuse me. The development details, including density, open space, and setbacks, will be handled by revision to this document. As I just said, again, it's going to have to come back to you. Landscape and tree preservation would have to comply with Article 13, which again is that new revised ordinance. The East-West Parkway setback, which is more important on this site because it does have so much more frontage on the East-West Parkway, is 100 foot. And again, the signage would comply with Article 12. So the recommendation is for approval, because the proposed plans are supported by the comprehensive plan. And the applicant is present if you have any questions, but staff is happy to answer any if you have.
Does anyone have any questions for staff? All right.
I have a small question.
Yes.
So, like, you said that the road going in and out was planned, but why only one? Why not have like two ways of accessing?
Because that limits congestion on the East-West Parkway, and honestly, it improves safety,
Okay.
vehicular safety.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Good question. And maybe we'll go back, show that.
Okay, yeah, I got you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yes.
On Lindley Park, there are the little stop signs to remind the bike riders to stop at the entrances. Are those on the east? I should know this, but are they on the east-west connector? And will they be put up so that?
So it's important to have pedestrian crossings at signalized intersections for safety. So once development along there gets to a point and that there needs to be, then yes, there would be pedestrian crossings of that, but they would be at signalized intersections. Again, because of the safety, because it's a 4-lane highway, and because of the speed on East-West Parkway. It's a little bit different than the roads adjacent to Lindley Park.
Oh, I meant the actual trail itself.
So it's on the other side of the street.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
on
this
the
is on
side.
the opposite
Yeah.
side of the trail.
So I'm sorry, I didn't understand the question.
I'm sorry.
I started wondering out at the, so you were talking about the trail itself, the
Yes,
east-west
I
trail.
was talking about the trail
and-
itself.
And that's on
And
the
it's on
other
the
side.
other side of the street.
Yes.
It is. It is, but yes, it is. And ideally, we would like to see that, a connection to that community that develops or that development. But that intersection, it would be a signalized crossing at that intersection.
Okay, I have one more question. Does the city bus serve this area? I noticed it was affordable housing.
I would assume that the city route, but the bus route would expand once development takes place. I don't know that it does right now, but I would assume that it would.
Okay.
It does it? It's on a route. It's on a route. Yes, ma'am.
Any other questions for staff? Any questions for the applicant right now? Is there anyone here to speak in opposition to it, or? All right, well, hearing none, would someone like to make a motion for ANX 25-2?
So moved. Make a motion it be approved.
Motion approved, second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, so that will move forward to this council meeting next week as well. So we will move on to RZ 25-1.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. 113 Comment Street, the applicant wishes to rezone the .71 acre property to R10 single-family residential so it can be subdivided into 2 lots for the construction of single-family detached dwellings. There is evidence that the lot was originally split into 2 separate lots, but was combined into one several years ago. The dwelling on the site was demolished approximately 18 years ago. The applicant wishes to return the lots to their original configuration. Subdividing the lot can yield 2 lots that exceed 15,000 square foot and 70 foot in width. This does not meet the R20 requirements of 20,000 square foot and 100 foot in width, so thus the zoning change. The proposed lots would conform to the R10 zoning standard, which requires lots to be at least 10,000 square foot with a width of 65. So I think the point here is these lots are larger than what's required in the R10, but a little bit smaller than what's required in the R20. The site is in red on the screen in front of you. You can see East River. Does everybody kind of know where we are? Mm-hmm. Great. So here's the one lot. These are the 2 lots that they're they want to subdivide, but it was one lot. You can see the surrounding lots are approximately the size of the new, one of the two new lots. So it would not be out of character with the surrounding community. So it's important to note that this rezoning and subdivision is supported by the comprehensive plan in the goal growth and priority investment goal, which says that the city should prioritize infill development. So with that, the staff is recommending approval as submitted.
Okay. Did you receive any phone calls on this rezoning or anything?
Not on this one.
Okay. Any other questions for staff on this one? Hearing none, would someone like to make a motion on RZ 25-1?
I make a motion we approve it.
Motion for approval, second from Kerry. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, so that one will move along as well. We will move to RZ 25-2.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. 307 Concord Road. The site is outlined in red here. You can see coming from top to bottom, North Main Street and Concord Road here. Everybody know where we are?
Yes.
Great. So on August 2024, the applicant sought to rezone the front portion of the subject property, approximately 210 feet in depth, and we'll talk about that in a minute, to neighborhood commercial for the purpose of a food truck on the site. The Planning Commission voted unanimously and recommended denial to City Council, and City Council agreed and denied the request because it was determined that NC zoning was too intense for the area. The site has a commercial style building but cannot be used for commercial purposes unless rezoned. Although there are no specific plans for the property, having it zoned to LO, which is slightly less intense than the NC and was recommended last time, would provide opportunities for the building to be occupied. The entire parcel is 1.7 acres in size and is a double frontage lot, and we'll look at that in a minute, that extends to Pine Lane behind, or kind of runs parallel to Concord. The applicant intends to subdivide and rezone the 210 foot of depth on Concord Road, just under an acre, and leave the back portion facing Pine Lane as R15. So the front portion on Concord would be LO and the back portion would be R15. Okay, again, this is supported by the comprehensive plan in the goal for growth and priority investment, which states that the city should prioritize infill development. So this is the site right here, and you can see this is Concord Road running here with Pine back here. So the property line, the 210-foot depth, this front portion would be LO. The back portion would remain R15. This is the commercial building that's on site. Commercial buildings. And staff is recommending approval because of compliance with the comprehensive plan.
Did you receive any phone calls on this one?
No, sir, I did not. We did not.
All right, any other questions for staff?
What was this previously used as? I don't recall. Do you know?
Bail bonds.
Bail bonding? Okay.
I don't recall either, so I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, it used to be a bail bondsman.
I can answer that. This is my father's property. He was a builder and developer, and he did rent it for 5 to 6 years to bail bonds place. He's in he's no longer there. He still has the business right here on Main Street, and we rented it a couple times. My father deceased, just to offset the property tax issue.
Thank you. Does anyone else have any other questions or? Hearing none, would someone like to make a motion on RZ 25-2?
I move we approve it.
Move for approval? Second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, so that one will go for county council as well, or city council,
The
as well
28th.
next week.
Yes, sir.
All right, seeing as we, don't have anything else on the agenda, we will consider ourselves adjourned. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.